In today's video is a visual essay on the movie Shutter Island directed by Martin Scorsese. Scorsese is an American director who was born on November 17, 1942 in Flushing, New York, where he grew up in the neighborhood of Little Italy on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Scorsese earned his undergraduate and graduate degrees in film from New York University. The first film that made him known was Mean Streets, which was released in 1973. He got his first Grammy Award for his film The Departed, which was released in 2006. Scorsese has received many awards in his career, such as a Grammy Award, 3 Golden Globes, and 3 Emmy Awards. In the early years of Scorsese's career, he was influenced by director John Cassavetes from his use of shaky camera and using improvised dialogue, making the film seem more real. Scorsese was also greatly influenced by Federico Fellini's 1963 film Eight and a Half because of the camera moves and editing of the film. And he also did things that no other filmmaker had done before. He took a chance and a risk on what he was making. Movies touch our hearts and awaken our vision, and change the way we see things. They take us to other places, they open doors and minds. Movies are the memories of our lifetime. We need to keep them alive. Martin Scorsese. The film Shutter Island follows the story of a U.S. Marshal named Teddy Daniels and his partner Chuck, where the two are sent to Shutter Island, a remote mental institution, to investigate the disappearance of the patient named Rachel Solando. As Teddy moves on with the investigation, he uncovers dark secrets about the institution, and he begins to question his own sanity, as throughout the film he has hallucinations and disturbing visions. Prior to the dream sequence, Teddy and Chuck meet Dr. Colley in his home, in which they meet Dr. Nering, as he is listening to a piano and string quartet, which for Teddy brings back the memories of being a soldier in World War II and seeing the concentration camps. Teddy then begins to ask for files of the staff for the investigation, but is denied, so he decides to give up on the investigation. But as him and his partner are about to go to sleep, Teddy tells Chuck that they haven't been told the truth yet, and they're going to continue with the investigation. In Teddy's dream, we see Teddy surrounded by fire in his home, where he had just been holding his wife, but she turned into ashes and left a puddle of water. This is a long shot at a high angle from an objective point of view. The high angle used in the shot symbolizes how vulnerable Teddy feels in that moment, because he has just become smaller than his surroundings, and he had to let go of his wife all over again. The fire in the shot may symbolize the idea that Teddy's mind and sanity are beginning to burn down and be destroyed, while the only sanity he had left in his mind was his wife, which is why she's the only puddle of water. Teddy was trying to hold on to his sanity, but his mind forced him to let go. By using an objective point of view, the director wants us to focus on Teddy's surroundings and not his emotions, even though he is feeling quite vulnerable, because he has just lost his wife again. He wants us to focus more on the fire and its symbolism and what it means in the shot. A haunting examination of entitlement and colonization. Scorsese's exquisitely produced, powerfully acted look at American history hits hard, and then acknowledges the shortcomings of attempting to turn this level of tragedy into narrative entertainment. Alonso Duralde, The Film Verdict. Martin Scorsese's films are tied to things that have happened in history, like in Goodfellas. It tells us about mobster Henry Hill's story, which took place in Brooklyn, and he took that story and adapted it into the big screen for people to see and learn from. Then in Shutter Island, Teddy was a soldier in World War II. Scorsese took that tragedy and implemented it into a story, which drove the character and was the reason for the way that the character acted, and everything that he was experiencing. It made the story what it was. Even in his newest movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, that takes place in Oklahoma in the 1920s, when people had discovered that oil could lead to wealth, so robberies became very common. Scorsese sets characters into those tragedies and has them become something that we can learn from, and it also becomes a very entertaining film. Martin Scorsese's career was at such a low ebb that he had to take the movie director equivalent of a menial job. Now those days of the low budget, narrow horizon after hours are long forgotten. His position as one of the history's all great time greats is seemingly unassailable. No studio dares utter the word no to him. Sean Egan, the critic. I believe that Martin Scorsese may be tough and difficult, but he still works hard to make his ideas and visions come to life into a form of great entertainment. And he still continues to create great entertaining film masterpieces, and from everything that he has created, he has influenced many other directors to be great. If the narrative somewhat lacks power, Scorsese's lowest gear is still incredibly powerful and has a bigger reach than the maximum power of other filmmakers. Eric Estrada, Cine Garage. His narratives are very different from what we see from other directors, especially when it comes to his psychological movies. He twists your mind and makes you really think about what is going on and try and figure it out on your own. The narratives that he creates are simple and straightforward, but they are interesting and make you think about your emotions and how they go through a roller coaster. Conclusion. I learned that Martin Scorsese likes to take a risk in his filmmaking and create what he has envisioned in his mind and make it a reality, which is something that he has taken from other directors who have influenced him. People have seen him as mean and hard-headed director, but that's what I feel makes him great. He fights for what he has envisioned to make, even if some things may seem impossible and something that one has ever done before. He makes it work. What I learned from filmmaking in general is that film styles and techniques are taken from other directors and that you get influence from. Like any other art form, you create something that is your own, but you take inspiration from others to create those things. Filmic Filmmaking takes a lot of in-depth thinking because when you are creating a film, everything you use and record has a purpose and a meaning in the story that you are trying to create and the message that you're wanting to convey. I suggest that film students watch Taxi Driver, one of Martin Scorsese's best earlier work, which uses a lot of POV shots that make you feel as if you're part of the movie and in the world that is being built in the story. Thank you.